You're very welcome back to the show. If you find yourself sneezing a lot with watery eyes and a blocked nose, you may have hay fever. Here to tell us all about this, we have Pharmacist Joanne Hynes from Total Health Pharmacy. Great to have you on the show.
Hello. Thank you.
A very simple question, I suppose. What is hay fever?
Hay fever is an allergy to pollen. So you get a reaction to the pollen coming in, normally in your nose or eyes, sneezing, stuffy nose, runny eyes, itchiness, maybe a cough. But it's all about being allergic to pollen.
So what does it do to how does it change your physiology that you get all these things? Does it inflame something?
Well, allergies, just in general allergies. The problem is the body sees something that's inert like pollen and thinks it's something that it needs to attack, and it attacks it and it inflames the area that it's in, and that's why you get all these symptoms.
Okay. We've been given sunglasses here.
More got the pimped out version, by the way. I just have to add that first.
So wearing sunglasses can help?
Well, it's an allergy to pollen, so anything that keeps pollen off you will minimise your reaction. Okay. So sunglasses, particularly for people who have eye reactions or runny eyes or stuffy blocked or red eyes.
Is it too early in the year to be talking about pollen and hay fever?
Well, to be fair, most people are allergic to grasses, and that's a summer thing. So we think of hay fever as May, June, July, August. But at this time of year, we have a lot of pollen in the air from trees. Some people react to it. And later in the year, we have weeds, fungal spores, and people react to that too. But most people get it in the summer. But it can start this early, and if you have those symptoms now, it might be hay fever.
So some people will see the fine weather coming and go, oh my God, I can't believe this. It's probably the worst time of year for them.
Absolutely. You know, we look at sunshine, sunny, little breezy day, perfect for us, but a hay fever sufferer, the worst.
Okay, now you've brought along, these are all over-the-counter medications that will help stop the pollen getting into your system in the first place. Take us through these. Now this here, let's start here. These are natural. There isn't a steroid in those. Tell us about these.
Well, I guess it's back to trying to avoid pollen.
These are nasal sprays?
Yes. So what these particularly do is as the pollen comes in, it surrounds them and it traps them in the nasal areas and it doesn't allow the body to react to them. But I guess if you came into the pharmacy, before we even go to what we're going to sell you, we need to discuss trying to avoid pollen. There's tons of things you can do to lessen your hay fever, to lessen the reaction. So close your windows. Close the windows in your house. Close the windows in your car. Don't cut the grass. Don't be outside when somebody cuts the grass. If you are outside, and particularly if you have a lot of hay fever, you should shower when you come in. Otherwise, you sit on the couch all evening with a lot of pollen coming down from your hair.
Even though you won't see it.
Even though you're not outside.
So it clings to your body, clings to your hair, clings to your skin?
Yeah, it clings to all the surfaces. If you're dusting at home, you should use a wet cloth, because otherwise you just spray a load of pollen back up into the air when you dust it off.
Now, I know the pollen is high at certain times, and you can actually check, also the Asthma Society.
Asthma Society do a website. It'll tell you if it's high, medium, high, low. And again, maybe plan your day accordingly. You know, on a high pollen day, you really need to take an extra precaution.
Okay. Now, if you can't like do all these things, and you have to leave your house, you have to go to work, you have to drop the kids, you have to do all that stuff. I suppose it brings us back to what do you do?
Exactly. So once you've done as much as you can, you're still probably going to get some hay fever symptoms, because pollen's everywhere. You know, you can't avoid it altogether. So we're back to, I guess, if you come into any pharmacy or my Total Health Pharmacy, you would be discussing what are the main symptoms. Nasal symptoms are often best treated with a nasal spray. And as you mentioned, these are a non-drug. So they're suitable for children, they're suitable for pregnant ladies. But these are probably the mainstay. They're a steroid spray, and they reduce the inflammation and the swelling in your nose and the sneezing and the stuffiness.
Is it mostly around the nose as opposed to the watery? I know watery eyes and you've other parts of it, but is it mainly the nose it affects?
Well, I guess, you know what, everybody's different. So I think most hay fever sufferers will sneeze and have a runny nose, but some don't.
Okay.
So what else do we have here?
Can I just, before you go on to that, should you start nasal sprays before the hay fever kind of season kicks in? And is it cumulative?
Well, that's a really good question. Generally, if you know you're going to have hay fever, then you will get a better reaction if you start the treatment before you even have hay fever. So start it. Late April is a classic time to start it. Start your antihistamine tablets. Take it right through till
Every
August.
day?
Every day. It's much better at preventing the problem than making the problem go away.
Now, what else do we have here?
So these all are over-the-counter antihistamines. They're available in any pharmacy, and they are probably the main treatment for hay fever.
Just explain antihistamine. What does it exactly do then?
Well, when you have an allergy, an ingredient in your body called histamine bursts because it's seeing the item or the allergen as a kind of a threat, and that causes all this inflammation. wherever it's happening, or the rash, as the case would be. So an antihistamine stops that happening. Stops that reaction.
Are there different types of antihistamines? Like you've got different types of, you've got pseudoephedrine, you've got that type. Are there different types?
There's a lot of antihistamines on the market. The older style work very well, but they are a little drowsy causing, such as Piriton. The newer ones tend to, in 95% of people, cause no drowsiness, and they can be taken every day. And then there's a number of antihistamines also on prescription.
How long would it take for one of these to work? A few hours or?
Oh, well, yes, they start to work in a few hours, but will they, if you have a symptom, will they bring it down in a few hours? Unlikely. It's probably near to 24 hours before you feel the full benefit. But if you were going to go out, it would work immediately to protect you from the effect, but not necessarily immediately to bring the effect down.
Okay.
Apart from the runny nose, streaming eyes, all that, can you actually get itchy around your face with?
Itchy, absolutely.
Because
itchy nose,
they will
itchy
help for
ears.
itch, won't they?
Yes. Itch is a very, very common allergy response. And yes, hay fever has itch.
I'm one of these people that when you start talking about itchy, I start getting itchy myself.
Do you suffer from hay fever at all, though?
You know what? Probably not. Or the mildest form ever, Joanne. Or, would there be a lot of people like me? I might sneeze 10 times and that's it, and that's my hay fever over for the year.
They say up on 1 in 5 people get hay fever at some point.
You can develop it.
Yes. To be honest, it runs in families, and some people and some families will have it. But you can grow out of it, and at a later point in your life, you can grow into it.
Can I ask why, or do you know why, that you might develop it at any stage? Is it something to do with your immunity or what?
Well, allergies in general aren't really fully understood. And we do seem to be overall having more allergic responses to a lot of things. So, yes.
Now, I notice you've got eye drops there as well, because as you said, those with the streaming eyes and stuff, that can affect. But you've got Vaseline or petroleum jelly. What can that do?
Well, again, it's down to avoiding the pollen. So you've got your young lad who has hay fever, wants to go out and play his football game. We would say put a little bit of pollen, or put a little bit of pollen, put a little bit of Vaseline on his nostrils, just to try and trap a little bit of pollen before it goes up.
Okay.
Old-fashioned
It's an
Vaseline.
old-fashioned, and I tell you, it's good for a lot of things.
We got a lot of people through a lot of times, I'd imagine.
Thank you very much for coming in. It is an issue, but I suppose the main thing that we should take from today is the fact that if you are somebody who suffers, you should not leave it too late until you have full symptoms. Start early.
Absolutely.
That's really
and
your
there's lots and lots you can do about it. So don't give up.
Don't give up. Joanne, thank you very much.
Thanks for
now,
that.
for more information on what we were just discussing there, check out totalhealth.ie.